Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pushtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschata Dishatamine Srila Prabhupada. So how do you like this? What's going on, the narrations? Do you think it's helping? Yes. Krishna's pastimes are always wonderful. That's why nowadays I don't give so much seminars on philosophy, rather seminars on pastimes. And because at least it keeps you awake. I noticed that that's how actually it changed, my way of doing it. Initially I used to give seminars mostly based on philosophical point or Krishna conscious practice points, like Madhurya Kadapini, Nectar of Devotion, etc. And I noticed that whenever I would tell a story, everybody would wake up. So you can well imagine what they were doing other time. So then I thought, so if everybody wakes up during stories, then let's tell stories only. So that's how I started off. The first seminar I gave was on Ramayana. I decided to give Ramayana before Mahabharata because I knew that if I gave the seminar on Mahabharata, then it would be difficult to go back to Ramayana. So I started like that. Ramayana, then Mahabharata, and then it went to Krishna's pastimes, Mahaprabhu's pastimes, Brihad Bhagavatamrita. And this year I selected Garga Samhita. Because there are many wonderful anecdotes of Krishna's pastimes which we don't really know. As I mentioned, Bhagavatam is actually in a compiled, concise form. Bhagavatam is in a concise way. Just giving descriptions of different pastimes, but doesn't go to the details. But some Puranas and Garga Samhita go into the details. And so I thought these details will be helpful. And through these pastimes we can get to know that how they're pastimes. The pastimes are Krishna's playful act. We all are subjected to material nature's laws of material nature. We all are subjected to our karmic reactions. But is Krishna subjected to karmic reaction? And that's the difference. Krishna is not subjected to karmic reactions, meaning Krishna can do whatever he wants. That is called Ichamai. Icha means wish. And Mai means one who can just fulfill his desire, do whatever he wants. And Krishna is Leelamai. He performs his pastimes. Pastimes are for pleasure. Pastimes, the casually spending their time. Like people casually spend their time by going to pubs and clubs, and so there they kind of try to get some pleasure. But Krishna's way of getting pleasure is just his pastimes. He acts. And by doing that, what happens? Krishna enjoys and Krishna's devotees enjoys. And the demons burn with envy. That's the difference. Krishna's devotees enjoy, but the demons are demons become even more envious. And the demons begin to think, oh, well, Krishna is not God. It's just... Like, for example, Krishna gives the demons a chance, or atheists a chance, to think that Krishna is not God. And like, do you remember how Krishna left this planet? A hunter shoot an arrow. Where did the arrow hit? On Krishna's heel. Krishna's toe, actually. His foot. And Krishna left his body. And even an ordinary person doesn't leave his body by being hit in the toe. Right? And Krishna, who is Supreme Personality of God. What to speak of Krishna? Even the Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas are such powerful warriors that during the battle, all of their whole body will be shot by arrows. Still they'll keep on fighting. That's how powerful the Kshatriyas used to be. There is a temple in South India. It's called Parthasarathi Temple. And in that temple, Krishna's deity is poked with, all over his body is poked. You know why? Because when Krishna came after the battle of Kurukshetra there, that's how he was. His whole body was pierced with arrows. So as a charioteer, as the chariot driver, he was getting shot by arrows. What to speak of the warriors? You remember how Bhishma Dev, his whole body was pierced with arrows. And that's why when he fell on a bed of arrows. Like the arrows not only hit him, went through his body. All the arrows. So that is how powerful the Kshatriyas used to be. So this is how, then the demons get a chance, the atheists get a chance. Oh, see, I told you, Krishna is an ordinary person. He got shot by a hunter and he died. Krishna says, fine. If you want to think that way, go ahead and think that way. If you want to go away from me, go away from me. But I'm giving you a chance also to come close to me. So what happens through Krishna's pastimes? The devotees become attracted to Krishna. When the devotees hear Krishna's pastimes, they feel more attraction to Krishna, more closeness to Krishna. But when the demons hear, they just become even more envious, and that's what we'll see. Like Shishupal, Jarasandha, all these demons, they're always so envious of Krishna, blaspheming Krishna. Don't want to admit that he can be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What to speak of Supreme Personality of Godhead? Their attitude is, Krishna is less powerful than they were. They're more powerful than Krishna. Jarasandha was defeated by Krishna 17 times. He was defeated 17 times. But on the 18th time, Krishna let him. Each time Krishna actually let him go. And when on the 18th time Krishna left the battlefield, ran away from the battlefield, then he said, oh, see, finally I defeated Krishna. That's their attitude. Krishna could have killed him, of course. I'll also tell you why Krishna didn't kill him. Okay, since I mentioned it, I'll tell you why Krishna didn't kill him. Why Krishna didn't kill Jarasandha? Because Jarasandha was Krishna's recruiting agent. Jarasandha was recruiting the demons, bringing them to Krishna, for Krishna to slaughter them. Krishna came to kill the demons. There's so many demons. For Krishna to go, and instead of him going killing them, Jarasandha was bringing them to Krishna. And Krishna was killing them. So that is how Krishna's pastimes have such wonderful effect. So in this way, Krishna was performing his pastimes. One day, there was a demon called Sakatasura. Krishna was just a few months old. There was a celebration. I think Krishna's 3 months celebration. Vedic culture is full of celebration. They get an occasion, they celebrate it. They make a festivity. Just like nowadays, there's an occasion, there's a holiday. But the actual thing was, there was an occasion, there's a holy day, not holiday. Those are holy days to celebrate. And they would celebrate. They'd get up in the morning, make all kinds of arrangements. Sometimes they would perform sacrifices, and they would invite everybody. They will come with gifts. Those who will come, they also receive gifts. And that will be an occasion to dress them up so nicely and wear their most expensive jewelries. They would come there and they would participate in this festivity. And they would sing and dance. They would sing and dance and then they feast. So this is what the Vedic culture is. Chant and dance and feast. Sing and dance and feast. That's what people try to do also in the material platform. They also try to sing and dance and feast. But in order to sing and dance, they have to become free from their anxiety. So it's the first thing they do when they go to this kind of occasion, drink. There is so much, their life is so stressful, so miserable, that they have to, in order to get into a joyful mood, they have to forget their anxiety. And the way to do it is drink. And more they drink, more joyful they become. More they drink, more boisterous they become. And then finally they lose their consciousness and roll in the gutter. Instead of going home, they find their bedroom in the gutter. So that is actually in here only, in Holland, I had a very nice experience. We are very friendly. One very family became quite close to us. They were from some town, some city. Maybe, I don't exactly remember. He was quite a well-known doctor, and he was quite young also. And they became close to us. And so sometimes we used to go and have program in their house. And one day the wife was telling me, my life has changed so much from those days. And she was expressing that how joyful it was. She said that previously also on Saturday night we used to have party. And in the morning, she said, I would look down to the hall and I would see the whole place is completely devastated. And many people also couldn't even go home, they're just still lying there drunk. And she used to already she had a headache from drinking last night. And now she got a bigger headache, now she has got to clean all the place. But then she was telling that, but now you all come and you all also have the program Saturday evening. And I don't have to do anything. You bring prasad, you bring everything, you all serve, and after serving you just clean the place up. And now on the next morning when you look down, the whole place looks so neat and clean, and the memories of the that last evening was so fresh. So that's the difference between our festivity and their festivity. That's the difference between materialistic life and spiritual life. Spiritual life leads to joy, and material life leads to misery. Kamalamani, do you remember that family? No? I see.
The dentist?
The dentist?
Gaur Sundar, the dentist?
Yeah.
His wife, Shatila?
I don't know. Right. Yeah. Where were they? Like, were they in Belgium or in Holland?
No, Holland.
They were in Holland, yeah. Right. So this is how the life changes in Krishna consciousness. How do you all feel? Is it a better way to live? Yeah. Haribol. So, and that is what Krishna's part. So, if our spiritual activities are so joyful, can you imagine how joyful Krishna's pastimes is? How joyful it is to be in the spiritual world with Krishna. So, that is why it is so important that we celebrate in Krishna consciousness, just to get an idea how joyful the spiritual life can be. So, on such an occasion when everybody was in such festivity, one day, on that day, Krishna was kept on a cradle next to a cart. They're cowherd people, so they carry utensils and things, and today was a festivity, so they must have brought so many things in a cart. They used to transport those days through bullock carts. And Krishna was there, so one of Kamsa's associates, Kamsa got to know that Putana got killed. And so he suspected maybe this is the one who is Hari came as a child. So another demon came. This demon doesn't have a body. Didn't have a body. Shakatas. So he was without his body. His idea was that he will kill Krishna. But Krishna was lying on the cradle and next to a cart, and this demon was waiting. So Krishna just touched the cart with his little foot. Children throw their legs. So in such occasion, his foot touched the cart. The cart collapsed with all this heavy weight, and the demon died. And the thing is, after the demon died, his life here came out and entered into Krishna's body. So everybody was surprised, what happened? All of a sudden the cart collapsed. And some of the little children who were there, they told what happened. Krishna kicked the cart collapsed. Everybody thought, how can it be possible? The cart was weighing so heavy with so much weight, and this child just touched it with the foot and it collapsed. How can it be? So, this is Krishna's Yogamaya. They were still considering that Krishna is a little child. So Bahulasha at that point asked, so who is the Shakatasura? So he was told that Shakatasura was a son of Hiranyaksha named Utkat. And once he went to Lomasha Muni's ashram and broke some trees. And Lomasha Muni was very upset that this demon acted in that way, broke the trees. So he cursed him that you become bodiless. So when he was cursed, the demon actually fell at his feet and said, please forgive me. And the thing is, when the words went out of the mouth of such exalted brahmanas, the word became, it must happen. So, but Lomasha Muni said, okay, since I said you have to get a body like that. But when Krishna comes in Dwapar Yuga, by the touch of his feet, he will get delivered. So that is how Sakatasura, in one hand, although he was a demon and cursed by devotee, Lomasha Muni, but he also got the benefit of being delivered by Krishna. Therefore, it's also an advantage to be cursed by a devotee. Because being cursed by a devotee, you have the bad effect, but it also has the good effect. The good effect is you derive some benefit. Like, so when there were so many such disturbances, Putana came to kill, there was Sakatasura, and then also came Trinavarta. He came as a whirlwind, another associate of Krishna. And he tried to kill Krishna when Krishna was in his mother's lap. Mother Jashoda had Krishna on her lap, and all of a sudden this terrible storm came. Trinavarta, whirlwind, not only just of wind, but floating, flying trinas, that dry grass and thorns and weeds and everything, and stone chips. Not only the whole place became dark, but all these people couldn't keep their eyes open because all this flying stone chips and grass, weeds. So before Trinavarta came, Krishna could see that came just now? Yeah. Yeah. But Kirti Kumari just arrived.
So this morning, and she's now with her daddy.
So you left her and came here?
No, the daddy picked her up. I was in the car with him, driving to Radhadesh.
Okay.
And tomorrow I have to drive her back here.
Oh,
She insists on coming here.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Yeah, she arrived safely?
Yes. She's at home.
Very good.
And she's going to attend a program of Jananandan Swami Maharaj.
Yeah, she wrote to me.
And tomorrow she will be here.
Good. Yeah, she has been very helpful in Dylan. She's taking up so many responsibilities and going out of her way to make all the arrangements. A very good girl. And yours too. Hare Krishna. So, this is how Krishna could understand that Trinavarta is coming. And he felt that if he stayed on his mother's lap, then Trinavarta may carry his mother also. So that's why Krishna became very heavy. Mother Jashoda couldn't keep Krishna on her lap. So she placed Krishna on the floor. And as soon as she did that, immediately Trinavarta took Krishna up into the sky. Trinavarta's intention was that he would take Krishna to a great height and drop him. And that's how he would kill him. So Krishna let Trinavarta go to a great height, and then when Trinavarta wanted to drop Krishna, Trinavarta felt that Krishna's arm is around his neck. So he tried to free himself from the grip of Krishna's arm, but the more he tried to free himself, the tighter became the grip, like a vice. It became so tight that Trinavarta couldn't breathe. And then, he being unable to maintain himself in that great height, he just fell. And from that great height, he fell on top of a big boulder, big stone. Left his body. So Trinavarta is killed. So some gopis started to chastise Mother Jashoda. At that time, you dropped the child on the floor. Huh? How careless you are. You saw the storm coming. So this is Krishna's pastimes. So we can see how family members react with each other. That they are not seeing, they are thinking that how careless it is of Mother Jashoda, that when such a big storm was coming, instead of keeping the child with her, she left the child on the floor, and now the child could have been taken away by this demon. So, again Bahulasha asked, who is that Trinavarta? In his previous life, he was a king named Sahasraksha, and he was enjoying with 1,000 beautiful women near Durvasha Muni's ashram. And Durvasha Muni, seeing that, became very upset with him, and he cursed him that he would become a demon. So this king fell at his feet, and Durvasha Muni also told him that okay, when in Dwapar Yuga Krishna will come, he'll deliver you. Although he'll become a demon, although he'll become inimical to Krishna, but he will be delivered by Krishna. So in this way, in Gokul, there were so many calamities, so many disturbances. So the one morning, the cowherd people, senior cowherd members they had an assembly, and they discussed what to do. Like, there are so many calamities. So how to overcome, what to do now. So the senior-most gop is Sannanda, Sannanda, Sat Nanda. So Sannanda actually told them that yes, these are very bad, very inauspicious signs. The demons are coming, creating disturbance, and we have to protect our children. So let us go somewhere else. Where to go? So he started to describe the glory of Vrindavan. And he advised, let's all go to Vrindavan. And in this way, the Krishna and Balaram, along with the gopis and gopas, settled in Vrindavan. There is some beautiful descriptions in Gopal Champu by Srila Jiva Goswami. He actually mentioned that they did not really decide where to settle, where to go. So they said, let's leave and we'll find some suitable place. And so then they arrived in Vrindavan. And it was already quite late in the day. So in one hand they felt, this is such a beautiful place, let's spend the night here. And so they all decided to spend the night there. And so that night Krishna told Vishwakarma, so you build palaces for every family. So in the morning when they woke up, they found there are all beautiful palaces. And each palace has a nameplate to which family it belonged to. So this is another description how they settled down in Vrindavan. And the descriptions of the palaces are beautiful. I mean, unimaginable actually. Like not only the palaces were built of gold, the walls of the houses were built of gold. Gold, solid gold walls. So that is the opulence. But the Brajvasis, they don't care about the material comfort and material luxury, material glamour. Their only attraction is to Krishna. But Krishna makes arrangement for them in the most wonderful way. So, although the devotees do not want anything material, but Krishna provides. And when Krishna provides, devotees accept. So, in this way, they just settled in Vrindavan. And when they were in Vrindavan, so many wonderful things happened. Like one day, Krishna was, the stealing of the butter incident? Another name of Krishna is Makhan Chor. Okay. Krishna steals butter. Krishna became a little big by that time, but he would go to different houses and he wouldn't go through the door because he is coming to do mischief. So they would climb on each other's back and scale the wall. And they would go inside in this way. And the last one will be pulled up by hand or by rope. Then they would enter into the house of the gopi and they would see all the pots of butter hanging from rafters. So they would climb on each other's back, lower the rafters, lower the butter pots, and then they would eat the butter. Krishna would eat, and Krishna would feed all his friends, and finally Krishna would feed the monkeys. The monkeys also would follow them to see fun, to watch the fun. So Krishna would tell them, come, take some butter. And the monkey had been so full of eating butter, he said, okay, no more. I'm completely full. And Krishna would say that this butter is so bad that even the monkeys don't want to eat it. Saying that, Krishna would break the pot. And then Krishna would pinch the sleeping child of the gopi. By pinching. And the child, you pinch a sleeping child, what will happen? He'd cry out. And laughing, Krishna with his friends would run out of the house. So this gopi, whose name is Prabhavati, she went and reported to Mother Jashoda. Jashoda, you see, this is what your son does. He has become such a naughty boy. And Mother Jashoda would say that Krishna was with me all this while. The gopi said, "Oh, you mean I'm lying?" No, but the thing is that when you said that Krishna went and did all that to your house, but Krishna was actually with me. So the gopi said, "Okay, you don't believe me, right? So I'll catch him and bring him to you." So Gopi Prabhavati was waiting. And then Krishna came with his friend one day, one afternoon. And he lowered the butter pots, climbing on other boys' back, one after another. In Gujarat, there is still one festival. What's it called? Who is a Gujarati here? There's so many Gujaratis but don't know about Gujarat. What's it called? Now it's coming out. Okay, whatever it is. The winner gets the one they climb on. It's kept quite high. And they have to climb up, maybe sometimes on 20 people. And they would go up and lower the pot. So anyway, the pot was the butter pot was lowered. So many of them, they ate the butter, fed the butter to the monkeys. When the monkeys also won't eat them, then said, "This butter is so bad that even the monkeys don't want to eat it." Saying that, they broke the pot and pinched the child. The child woke up with a shriek, and laughing, they all were running out of the house. But the gopi was hiding behind the door. As soon as Krishna came, trying to come out, leave the room, run out of the house, she caught Krishna. Okay, finally I caught you. Come, I'll take you to your mother. She wouldn't believe me. Krishna said, "Please let me go. I promise I won't come to your house anymore. If you take me to my mother will get really upset. She'll chastise me. Maybe she'll beat me up also." And the gopi said, "Nothing doing. Finally I caught you. The other day, your mother almost told me that I was a liar. So today I'll prove to her." And so Krishna was appealing, "Please let me go, please let me go." So the gopi took Krishna on her back and she went to Mother Jashoda and said, "Jashoda, now you believe me? I caught him red-handed today. And this is what he had done with all these boys. He is a ringleader of all the boys." And Mother Jashoda started to laugh. Prabhupada said, "Still now you're laughing? I caught him red-handed and brought him to you." Mother Jashoda said, "Yeah, see who you brought." She looked up and saw she's carrying her own son. So she was surprised. She could still hear Krishna's voice ringing in her ears. "Please let me go, please let me go. I promise I'll never come to your house. If I go, my mother will chastise me." And now she's seeing that she's carrying her own child. But what to do? Like she, completely embarrassed, with a heavy heart and drooping head, she started to walk towards the house. And then she heard the sound of laughter. It's Krishna laughing. Krishna, you are such a rascal. You embarrassed me in front of your mother in this way, assuming the form of my child. Krishna said, what to do? He says, somehow I had to defend myself. And anyway, this time I became your son. Next time if you catch me and take me to my mother, I will become your husband. So this is how Krishna iti driksha lilabhir ananda kunde shaghosham nimajjantam kapayantam. In this way, Krishna submerges his devotees in an ocean of ecstasy. Ananda kunde. So this is Vrindavan. And Krishna is the Leela Purushottam. He is performing his Leelas, performing his pastimes. And by performing his pastimes, he is submerging his devotees in an ocean of joy. Are you getting drowned in that ocean of ecstasy? Or are you still floating? So this is how Krishna is performing his pastimes. Now this leads to another pastimes. Mother Jashoda felt that why does Krishna go to other houses to steal butter? In my house there is so much butter. Krishna doesn't need to steal butter. But is it that their butter is more delicious, that's why Krishna goes and steals them? And so she felt that she should create the real good butter. She selected the best cows and she fed the cows with the best grass. And she decided to make butter out of this milk. And one day she was boiling this milk. And Krishna was on, and at that time Krishna just came to her and she could see that Krishna actually wanted to drink her milk, mother's milk. So she came to Krishna, took Krishna on her lap and gave her breast to drink milk. Krishna was happily drinking his mother's milk. And then all of a sudden Mother Jashoda remembered, oh, the milk is on the pot or on the fire and it will be spilling over. So she quickly put Krishna on the floor and she went to take care of the milk, boiling milk. Krishna was happily drinking his mother's milk and all of a sudden his mother put him down from her lap and ran to attend the boiling milk. Krishna was really upset. For first few minutes he was quite stunned. Took him some time to realize what actually happened. Then he cried for a while, feeling hurt that his mother treated him in this way. And then he felt angry. I was drinking your milk so happily, but you went to take care of that milk, and that also was for my sake, for my pleasure, for my joy. What is the use of that? So Krishna found a stone there and he hid that pot for churning butter. There was a big clay pot and it was filled with butter and water and the churn, and as a milk and dahi, yogurt and water, and from the yogurt comes out the butter. It floats. So that's how they make butter. I'm sure many of you know how to make butter. Yeah? How many of you know how to make butter? Okay, and how many of you learned from me how to make butter today? The secret is that you have to put a lot of water. Sometimes you make a mistake by not putting enough water, and you keep on churning. Butter doesn't come. Therefore, you have to put a lot of water while churning. Keep on adding water, and then the butter will float. And then you separate the butter, and what you get is buttermilk. In Hindi, it's called chas. It's very good for digestion. In India, it's a custom, especially in North India, to have chas in the afternoon. They have a heavy meal, and then to digest it, they take buttermilk. And so, Krishna broke that pot. The pot was full of water and butter and yogurt. So the whole room got flooded. So Krishna went to the next room and he climbed up on top of a mortar to lower the butter pot. And when Krishna was doing that, at that time Mother Jashoda, taking care of the milk, she came. And she saw the room is flooded with the water and milk, buttermilk and yogurt from the pot. And Krishna is nowhere to be seen. So she realized that little boy who had done that. So she went to the next room. And then she saw Krishna lowering the butter pot, standing on the mortar. So Krishna saw his mother coming. So he jumped out of the mortar. Jashoda bhi alukhalad dhavamanam. Seeing Mother Jashoda, Krishna jumped out of the udukhal, the mortar, and ran. And Mother Jashoda ran after Krishna. So finally, Mother Jashoda caught Krishna. And seeing the stick in his mother's hand, Krishna became afraid. Rudantam muhur netram jugmam vrijantam. Seeing the stick in his mother's hand, Krishna started to cry. Rudantam muhur netram jugmam vrijantam. And karambhoja jugmena shatanka netram. He started to wipe the tears out of his eyes, which were full of fear, satanka netra. You remember Damodarashtakam? Soon you'll be singing it again, month of October. So that's what happened. So Krishna ran, Mother Jashoda ran after him, caught him, seeing the stick in her hand. Krishna started to cry. Mother Jashoda saw that the child has already been afraid, so he dropped the stick. But at the same time, she felt that some correction must be done. The boy is becoming too much. So she decided to tie him up in the same mortar on which he climbed, and now I'll tie you up with that. But Mother Jasoda, as she put the rope around Krishna's belly to tie him up, found that the rope is 2 fingers too short. And in this way, Mother Jasoda tried again and again and again with ropes after ropes. Still it's 2 fingers too short. Mother Jasoda was sweating out of exhaustion. So Krishna felt, okay, my mother is quite exhausted, so let her tie me up. So Krishna allowed Mother Jasoda to tie him up. So then she tied him up with the mortar, and Mother Jasoda went to her to attend and take care of her household chores. And so Krishna tied like that. He stood there for some time. And then he thought, how long can I just keep sitting and standing in one place? So he started to pull the mortar. And as a result of that, the mortar, which was standing, it fell. Now the mortar looks like a wheel, like 2 ends round. So Krishna invented a new game, pulling the mortar with tied up to a belly. Oh, he went round and round and round with that way. And on Nanda Maharaj's courtyard, there were 2 Jamal Arjun trees, huge trees. And Krishna thought, let me go through the tree. So he passed through the 2 trees, but the mortar got stuck. Krishna pulled, and as a result of his pulling, those 2 trees fell off. This huge tree fell like that, created a big noise. So Mother Jashoda came running, totally in anxiety. Oh, my child was in the courtyard. I hope nothing happened to him. But then she found that Krishna in between those 2 trees. So Krishna, at least he is saved. She started to thank the demigods and Vishnu, Narayan, everybody. And Lord, you're so kind that you saved my child. Without knowing that her child is the source of knowledge. So then Krishna went, Mother Jashoda went and released Krishna from there. And everyone was surprised. What happened? There was no storm, there was no wind, there was nothing. All of a sudden these trees fell like that without any reason. And the little boys who were there, they started to describe. This is how Krishna was playing, and the mortar got stuck, and as Krishna pulled, the trees fell off. And not only that, as the trees fell, 2 divine personalities appeared out of those 2 trees. They appeared there and they started to say something to Krishna in some language we don't understand. And then, offering obeisances to Krishna, both of them went back up in the sky. Some thought these little children started to fabricate such fantastic stories. And some thought that maybe that's what happened. After all, Krishna is so wonderful. Mother Nanda Maharaj came, and when he heard, he was really upset with Mother Jashoda. He was so careless. Tied up the child. If something happened to him, what would have happened? So Mother Jashoda accepted the chastisement. And so now, who are those two personalities who appeared from those two trees? Two sons of Kuvera, Nala Kuver and Manigriva. They were sporting with Apsaras in the celestial Ganges, Alakananda. And they were sporting in the water naked. And at that time, Narad Muni was passing by. So seeing Narad Muni, all the girls became embarrassed, upset. They immediately covered themselves. But Nala Kuber and Manigriva, those two sons of Kuber, were so drunk that they just stood there shamelessly. So Narad Muni cursed them. You are not fit to live in heavenly planets. Shameless. No consideration, no concern for any custom and ethics, morality. So you go, since you're standing naked, stand naked for thousands of years as a tree. And as a result of that, they became two Jamalarjan trees. But when they became cursed, then they came back to their senses. And then all the alcohol effect was gone. My God, what happened? We have been cursed to become trees. So they fell at Narad Muni's feet. Please, please, forgive us. Narad Muni said, look, when a word goes out of my mouth, it's bound to happen. So since it has been uttered by me, you have to. It will happen to you. But when Krishna comes, then by his mercy you will be delivered. So that's how these two Jamal trees, two Arjun trees, appeared as two Arjun trees in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. And Krishna actually delivered them. So this is how this Damodar Leela was performed by Krishna. And so one day, Durvasha Muni came to the house of Nanda Maharaj. And Durvasa Muni was seeing this little child, very attractive. And he also heard that some people think he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Durvasa began to wonder, is he really Narayan? Is he really the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So at that time, Krishna, smiling, playfully came and sat on Durvasa Muni's lap. And Durvasa Muni was looking at him and was wondering, who is this child? People say that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Is he really the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So when Durvasa Muni was thinking in this way, Krishna got out of his lap, looked at Durvasa Muni, smiled again, playfully. And then, as he breathed, Durvasa Muni went inside his mouth. Then Durvasa Muni found himself in a place, huge, vast area, a huge forest, but no one is there. So he began to wonder, what is this? Where did I come? And then he started to wander through many forests. And then there he saw the entire, all these universes, not one universe, so many universes floating in causal ocean. And those then Narad Muni, Durvasa, entered into one such universe. And he saw different planetary systems, he traveled through different planets. And then he came on top of a mountain. And coming on top of a mountain, standing on that white mountain top, Durvasa worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead, started to offer prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then came the time of devastation. The whole place became inundated with water. So, and he was also carried away in that water. And he was swimming, drowning. In this way, submerged in the water, he forgot everything. Then when he came back to his senses, then he saw the entire universe, and he entered there, and going through those planetary systems, he came to the topmost planet, and he spent one lifetime there. So that is Brahmaloka, Satyaloka, where Brahma's planet, he spent his whole life. Then he saw a great ocean with millions of universes, and then he saw Viraja River. And crossing Viraja River, he entered into the realm of Golok. And he saw Vrindavan forest, Govardhan hill, and Jamuna river. And then he entered a forest grove filled with gopas and gopis, and in their midst, who did he see? Krishna. So, as Krishna laughed, he came out. And he saw the one that he saw just there, he is standing in front of him. So this is how Durvasa recognized who Krishna was. So he then offered obeisances to him and worshipped him with wonderful prayers. So this is how Krishna was performing his wonderful pastimes. And Kamsa, recognizing that Krishna is his formidable enemy, he was sending different demons to kill them. And those demons were not ordinary persons, these demons were extremely powerful. We will see how powerful these demons were. That even the demigods couldn't do anything to them. So what to speak of any other human beings. So one such demon, Vatsasura, who assumed the form of a Vatsa calf, came. So Krishna could understand this calf is actually a demon. So Krishna is just 5 years old at that time. And as a cowherd boy, as 5 years old, they become apprentice cowherd. They take care of the calves. So little boys take care of little calves. So they took the calves and grazing there, playing with the friends. So this demon came in the form of a calf. And Krishna could understand that. He told Balaram, look at that one. It's a strange one. Didn't come with us. He joined us here. And Balaram said, should I take care of him? Krishna, I will take care of him. And at that time, this calf demon, Vatsasura, came rushing towards Krishna and tried to kick him with his hind legs. So Krishna caught the demon by his hind legs and started to swing the demon overhead and finally let it go. And it fell on some kopitha tree. Kopitha is some kind of bale fruit. And the demon died. So this is how the first demon in Vrindavan, Vatsasura, was killed. So Vatsasura, then after he left his body, he merged into Krishna's body. He got liberated. So Bahulasha asked Narad Muni. So Narad Muni actually told the story that how Vatsasura in his previous life was a demon called Utkal, who was cursed by Vasishtha. Utkala actually he saw a demon who was extremely powerful and he was causing so much distress to everybody. And traveling in this way, he came to Vasishtha Muni's ashram. And there he saw Nandini, the daughter of Surabhi. And so he assumed the form of a Brahmana and went to Vasishtha and said, my dear sage, will you please give your cow to me? So generally, the Brahmanas, when they ask something, one does not decline, doesn't refuse. So Vasishtha could understand. He said, yes, you are a Brahmana and you want this Nandini. So you'll become a demon who will have the form of a calf. You won't get Vasishtha, you yourself will become a calf. You yourself will become a cow. So then he prayed to Vasishtha and then Vasishtha told that how Krishna deliver him. So then another demon came soon after that. All the children saw. Mind you, they're just 5-6 years old children. So they are playing with a friend and on the bank of Jamuna, they saw a bird, a huge bird. Looks like a crane. Bakasura. Baka means a crane. So they become curious. Oh, look at this bird, such a big bird. We've never seen such a big bird. But as they went close, all of a sudden Bakasura just swallowed Krishna. Seeing that Krishna has been swallowed, the demigods became very worried. So all these demigods came, Indra came, tried to attack Bakasura with thunder. Thunder couldn't do anything to Bakasura. Then Agni Dev came, started to shoot thousands of arrows. Nothing happened to Bakasura. Surya came, Chandra came, Kartikeya came. Nothing happened. Only some feathers got ruffled in his body. Such a power. But then inside his body, Krishna started to, inside his throat, Krishna became so hot that Bakasura couldn't keep him within his mouth. Spat him. But then he attacked Krishna again. But this time, when he attacked, the Bakasura attacked Krishna, Krishna caught him by his beak. And he put his feet on the lower beak and with his hands, he pulled the upper beak. And Bakasura's body split into two. So this is how Bakasura was killed. Another demon that came to attack was Dhenukasura. Dhenukasura was a demon who had the form of a donkey, and he used to stay in the Tal forest. So one day when Krishna was playing, tending the cows, just before that something interesting happened here. They were grazing the cows, and all of a sudden they saw a fire, a forest fire. But strangely enough, this forest fire came from all 8 directions. Like they're totally surrounded by the forest fire. Generally, the forest fire comes from one side, but this time this forest fire came from all 8 sides. There's nowhere to go, so the boys started to scream and cry, Krishna, Krishna, save us. Krishna said, okay, close your eyes. So as they closed their eyes, Krishna just ate the forest fire. And the forest fire was extinguished. Krishna ate the forest fire. Okay, now you can open your eyes. Everything is normal. There is no trace of fire. So, in this way, different demons came in different ways. This was a demon actually, who took the form of a forest fire, intending to kill Krishna. But got killed. So, the children just forgot what actually happened. They were not at all in anxiety. And that's what happens when you depend upon Krishna. You know that Krishna will protect you, so why worry? But they started to feel hungry. Krishna, we are feeling hungry. So one boy said, oh, nearby there is a tal forest. There are very beautiful, ripe tal fruit. So let's go and have the tal fruit. The other boy said, no, don't go there. In that forest there is Dhenukasura. This Dhenukasura is such a terrible demon that whoever goes there, he eats them up. Oh, we should go there. So when the boys were speaking like that, Balaram said, who cares for this Dhenukasura? Let's go. You're hungry? Yes. Let's go. It's a feast of tal fruits. So Balaram just went inside that tal forest. How many of you have seen tal trees? Okay, it's a huge tree. It's like a coconut tree, palm tree. It's a palm family. But they grow huge. The trunk is about this big. So Balaram grabbed the trunk of the tree and started to shake. The tree was full of tal fruits, so all those tal fruits started to fall with a thudding sound. Dhenukasura was having his afternoon nap. He heard the sound. What's this? What's happening? And the sound continued. Thud, thud. Tal fruits are falling with a thud. Whoever dared to come into my tal forest? And so he came out. And he saw Balaram and cowherd boys. So he just attacked Balaram. So there's a description how they fought. For a long time they fought actually. And then finally Balaram killed him. Balaram's way of killing was grab them by the animals, grab them by the hind leg and swing them and smash them or throw them. You see, by the time they swing you, you can't breathe, so you suffocate. So, this is how Dhenukasura was killed. Dhenuka means donkey. There is in this respect, there is one consideration that why Balaram killed Dhenukasura, why not Krishna? There are two reasons actually. One reason is this Dhenuka, this is from Bhakti Vinod Thakur's Krishna Samhita. Dhenuka means donkey. You know what the donkeys are famous for? What the donkeys are famous for? Huh? Carrying the load, okay. Any other reason? Donkeys are famous for their stupidity. Don't we say? In India, it's a very common expression. Gadha means a donkey. Means absolutely stupid. So due to the stupidity, what does the donkey do? Donkey thinks, you can see how nowadays people also have become donkey-like. The donkey, it needs only grass. Is there any dearth of grass in this world? There's grass everywhere. But because he's a donkey, he thinks that unless he carries the heavy load of his master, he won't have any grass to eat. Isn't it? Radha Vinod said the donkeys are famous for carrying load. Yes. Like sometimes in India you see donkeys are carrying such a load, heavy load, that you don't see the donkey. It seems like this heavy load is moving on its own. Like donkey is there carrying, and there's a heavy load around it. So, but the donkey is carrying such a big burden. But why he is doing that? Because he thinks that unless the master gives him some grass, he won't have anything to eat. So, and donkey carries a big load. So what we do in the material nature, everyone is like a donkey, carrying a big load, big responsibility. But then, it is Balaram, in the form of the spiritual master, comes and kills that donkey demon. Why are you carrying unnecessarily this big burden? Get rid of it. So, Balaram kills that demon. Balaram's representative, kills the demon of ignorance, kills the demon of stupidity, and gives us real intelligence. So, this is how Balaram killed Dhenukasura. There's another anecdote behind that. This Dhenukasura in his previous life was a demon called Utkal. He was the son of Bali Maharaj. And Utkal created some disturbance. He also was enjoying with women, and he was cursed by Durvasa Muni that he said that since they were actually singing and dancing, creating a noise, so Durvasa Muni was meditating nearby. So his meditation broke. So he considered that this noise was like braying of donkeys. So when he saw what they were doing, he cursed this demon Utkal. And so he became cursed to become a demon. Like since we are creating the noise like a donkey does, have you seen donkeys braying? It's the worst kind of disturbance that you can ever have. So he said he became a donkey, so he became a donkey. But Krishna actually gave the benediction to Prahlad Maharaj that although Prahlad Maharaj is from the demon family and the demons will come, but Krishna gave him the benediction that I won't kill your family members. So Krishna, because Dhenukasura was in the family of Bali Maharaj, Prahlad's son was Virochan, Virochan's son was Bali, and Bali's son was Utkal, who became Dhenukasura. Therefore Krishna did not kill him, Balaram killed him, or Krishna made Balaram to kill him. So in this way, Krishna killed various demons in these pastimes, and in this way there are many other demons came, one after another. One such demon was Arishtasura. Arishtasura came in the form of a bull. And not just an ordinary bull, a gigantic bull. And Krishna killed this demon, Arishtasura. Then another demon. Okay, before that, I forgot. There is Krishna killed a demon called Aghasura. That happened before Krishna was still much younger. This Aghasura came in the form of a gigantic python, so big that his upper lip, his mouth was wide open. You have seen the snake's mouth? They become very big actually. So Aghasura's upper lip was touching the sky and lower lip was touching the earth. So the cowherd boys that morning were going, and on the way they saw this new cave. They thought it was a cave. And they are all very excited. Oh, this new cave, we never seen here, we never explored it. So let's go and see what is there. And along with the cow, then Krishna realized that there is a great danger. These boys are already in Aghasura's mouth, along with the cows. And Aghasura was waiting for Krishna to. That day was Balaram's birthday, therefore Mother Rohini kept Balaram at home. So Krishna was wondering what to do, how to save these boys. And Aghasura was waiting to swallow Krishna as soon as Krishna came in. So Krishna just walked into Aghasura's mouth. And as soon as he entered, Aghasura closed his mouth. And Krishna swallowed. So what did Krishna do? Krishna expanded himself into such a big form that he got stuck in Aghasura's throat. And he started to emanate terrible fire from his body, heat from his body. So Aghasura started to writhe in pain. In one hand he couldn't breathe, his throat got choked, and there's such a terrible heat, and his soul is trapped inside his body, cannot leave his body. So finally Aghasura left his body from the top of his head. There is a hole here on top of the head called Brahmarantra. The yogis generally leave their bodies through the Brahmarantra, and that is how they achieve their spiritual perfection. So Aghasura, we can see, by being killed by Krishna, they assumed the benefit that a perfect yogi gets. Aghasura's soul came out and then entered into Krishna. Brahma was watching, sitting on his swan on the space. So Brahma was wondering, who is this little boy? Aghasura was such a terrible demon that even the demigods were not only afraid of him, if they heard the name Agha, then they would start to tremble with fear. And this little boy just killed him like this, and the demon's soul merged into his body. Who this is? Is he my Lord? Narayana. So Brahma thought, okay, I will check it out. Then all these boys were rescued. They came out of Aghasura's body, and with the cows, with the calves, they went to the bank of Jamuna. They started to eat, and some boys said, Krishna, we are so poor that my mother couldn't make any breakfast for us today. Krishna said, don't worry, we have plenty of food. And some friends said, Krishna, the sweets my mother made is so delicious. So have it. Although he ate it, he gives it to Krishna. Krishna takes a bite, really extremely delicious sweets. And he gives it to some other friend. Friend, you take it. In this way they were having. Sometimes some boys saw that something was told to be so delicious, so they became curious to find out, taste how delicious it is. And the food was on Krishna's plate. Krishna just took a bite and kept it on the plate. And he said, Krishna, Krishna, look at that bird. And when Krishna looked, he took the sweet out of Krishna's plate. So Brahma felt, my Lord will never behave like this. And no one will ever dare to behave like that with my Lord. So who is this boy? Obviously, he is not any demigod. It seems that he is not even my Lord Narayana. Then who he is? So Brahma thought, okay, let me see his potency. So Brahma stole the calves and put them in a cave. All of a sudden everyone saw that the calves are nowhere to be seen. So they were having their breakfast, picnic, and they were just, everybody became anxious to find out what happened to the calves. So they, when they became so anxious, Krishna said, don't worry, you carry on with your prasad. I will go and find out. Maybe they have gone inside the forest. So Krishna went to look for the calves. He could find the calves. Then he came back and he found none of his friends are also there. None of the cowherd boys were there. So, in great anxiety, Krishna started to wonder what happened. Then he realized, oh Brahma, you are trying to check me out. Okay, check me out. So Krishna immediately expanded himself into all those cowherd boys and into all those calves. So, in the meantime, Brahma put the cowherd boys and the calves in a cave, covered the cave with a big stone, big boulder, and as he looked back, he saw all the cowherd boys are having their picnic with Krishna, and all the calves are grazing in the field. So Brahma wondered, what's the matter? So he looked inside the cave. All the boys and calves are still there. He looked here. Now what did he see? That all the cowherd boys and all the calves are Narayan. Brahma knew about one Narayan, his Lord and Master. But now he is seeing all these cowherd boys and calves and Narayans in their foreign forms. So Brahma realized his mistake. So he fell at Krishna's feet, begging forgiveness. So this is how Brahma also became bewildered, and Brahma also began to recognize who Krishna actually is. So in this way we can see that although many great personalities initially could not recognize Krishna, but eventually by Krishna's mercy, they did. A similar thing happened also with Indra. The cowherd people used to worship Indra on a certain day, Indra Puja. So cowherd boys all the cowherd people are very busy since morning. So Krishna saw that everyone is so busy. So he asked his father, Father, what's happening today? You all seem to be so busy. So Nanda Maharaj, he was worried because this child, you answer his one question and he'll come up with 25 other questions. And said, Krishna, today I'm very, very busy, not now. Please don't ask me. Father, why don't you tell me? It's a simple thing, like, what are you doing? What's happening? Okay. We are making arrangements to worship Indra Puja. Father, why do you worship Indra? Nanda Maharaj said, started. Okay, we worship Indra because Indra gives rain. Does Indra give rain because he is worshipped? Yes. In the middle of the ocean, nobody worships Indra. And there is no need for water also. So why does it rain there? This time Nanda Maharaj got stuck. It's true. And he said, look, we need rain. And because we are cowherd people, we need green grass for the cows, we need to grow food, grain. For that we need rain. And it is due to worshipping Indra that we get rain. Is Indra's so important? Indra's performance? We are cowherd people, as you say, but actually the cows grow by the mercy of Govardhan. Govardhan. The Vardhan means increase. The cows increase by the mercy of Govardhan, not by the mercy of Indra. So anyway, it's a long discussion. So I'm coming to the end. So Krishna suggested that instead of worshipping Indra, let's worship Govardhan. Nanda Maharaj and cowherd people, they just listened to what Krishna told them. So Nanda Maharaj told other people, other cowherd people, look, Krishna is saying that instead of worshipping Indra, let's worship Govardhan because we are getting so many benefits from Govardhan. We are cowherd people and our cows are really protected and nurtured by Govardhan. So they said, yes, let's go and worship Govardhan. So they took all the paraphernalia for worshipping Indra to Govardhan and they first fed Govardhan. They made an annakut. Annakut means a mountain of food. And there is a very beautiful description of this mountain of food in Gopal Champu. First they put banana leaves throughout the area. Then they put chapatis, piled up chapatis. Then they put different types of rice on top. Then puris, then different types of other preparations. So huge mountain of food. And there were streams flowing. What was the stream? The streams of ghee flowing through the mountain. And all kinds of delicious food stuff. Sweet, salty, sour, bitter, astringent. And everybody saw that Govardhan mountain assumed the form that looked just like Krishna's form. And Govardhan is taking the food and eating. And in this way, Govardhan ate. And from distant or for him nearby lakes, Kushum Sarovar and other lakes, Govardhan took the water from his mouth and he drank water. So after Govardhan was worshipped in this way, and they saw that one Krishna is eating the food, and another huge Krishna is eating the food, and another small Krishna standing there watching that other Krishna eating the food. So this is how Govardhan was worshipped, and then they circumambulated Govardhan. In the meantime, Indra was waiting. What's happening? Again, his Narad Muni went and told Indra what happened. Indra, you're waiting for your worship, but all the paraphernalia of your worship has now been transported to Govardhan, and these cowherd people worship Govardhan. So Indra became furious. And he immediately called Samvartaka cloud. Samvartaka cloud came. And Indra ordered, go and destroy Vrindavan with all the residents there. So all of a sudden the residents of Vrindavan saw that terrible cloud from northeast side coming, rushing towards. The whole sky became covered with the black cloud. And then came torrents of rain. And so everyone was afraid. Some started to think that, see, Indra has been upset. Now he's going to cause a lot of trouble for us as punishment. But they all went to Krishna, and Krishna, what to do now? What should we do? Krishna said, don't worry. He immediately left. And Krishna said, don't worry. Govardhan will protect you. You worship Govardhan, so why worry? Saying that, Krishna lifted Govardhan and held it there for 7 days. Everything was flooded, torrents of rain. But Anantashesh came, and with his body, Anantashesh created a wall around Govardhan, the cave, the cavity that was created, so that water couldn't come. Indra was sending incessant thunder. Nothing happened. So Indra asked thunder. So thunder was the situation. Everybody has been taken care of. Not a single soul is alive. Very good. But then, right after that, wind came. No. Upon eating all the offerings that was given to Govardhan, Govardhan became so powerful that it's floating in the sky. And all the residents of Vrindavan, along with their domestic animals, have gone inside the cave and they have taken shelter. So Indra said, there was a mountain called Mainak that used to fly, but I cut its wings with my thunder. And it is now in the ocean, under the ocean. So did Mainak grow its wings again? So anyway, I will take care. And he started to hurl thunder. But nothing happened. 7 days went by. The mountain was just up in the sky, in the space, floating. So Indra approached his guru, Brihaspati. Gurudev, what's the matter here? Brihaspati said, Indra, you made a big mistake. The boy you thought to be an ordinary child is actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he lifted this mountain to give protection to his devotees. You not only offended him, but you tried to kill his devotees. It's a terrible offense. Indra started to shake like a dry leaf in wind. What shall I do now? What shall I do? So Brihaspati said, okay, you take shelter of Surabhi. And along with Surabhi, you go to Krishna. By seeing Surabhi, Krishna's anger will subside. And then you go and beg forgiveness. So Indra did that. Hiding behind Surabhi's tail, Indra approached Krishna. Surabhi bathed Krishna with her milk. Krishna's anger subsided. Then Indra came out and begged forgiveness. So this is how Govardhan Leela was performed. Govardhan, Govardhan, this pastime has a very wonderful significance. Actually in Vrindavan, everyone used to think that he was not getting enough association of Krishna. The cowherd boys used to be with him till the day. At night they couldn't be with Krishna. The gopis used to be with Krishna at night. During the day they couldn't be with Krishna. And the elderly gopas and gopis, they couldn't get practically any association of Krishna, only sometime in the morning. And the whole day Krishna is out in tending cows. And at night they are asleep and they don't know what Krishna was doing. They thought Krishna was also sleeping. Even the cows used to think, oh, we are not getting enough association of Krishna. So through this Govardhan Leela, Krishna gave everybody an opportunity to fulfill their desire. For 7 days, day and night, they were with Krishna. So this is how their desire got fulfilled. So that's how this Govardhan Leela is so important for all of us. Okay, few minutes left. Does anybody have any question? Yes.
We learned that the demigods have material desires, but they're nonetheless very advanced devotees. So how do we understand their behavior sometimes? For example, here Indra, just because of not getting worship, literally wants to kill women, children, humans. One would think that even a very neophyte devotee would not even think of doing something like that.
Well, first of all, it's Krishna's pastimes. And the demigods are not actually very advanced devotees. They are karma mishra bhaktas. Karma mishra bhakta means, you can say, devotees in the mode of passion. They want to enjoy, and in order to get their enjoyment, they worship Krishna or Narayana. And their position is something like that of an employee. They're employees of Narayana, given assignments to take care of different responsibilities. Whereas devotees are like Krishna's family members. You see the difference between a family member and an employee. So that is the situation-wise, that's the difference between pure devotees and mixed devotees, like demigods. And that's one aspect. The other aspect is that through these pastimes, Krishna is actually proving that he is greater than Indra. If somebody thinks that Indra is the greatest, Krishna is greater than Indra. If somebody thinks Brahma is the greatest, Krishna is greater than Brahma. If somebody thinks Lord Shiva is the greatest, Krishna is greater than Shiva. So through these pastimes, Krishna actually is establishing his supremacy. And when these things happen, we have to understand that these individuals like Indra and Brahma, they will get bewildered by Krishna's Maya, Yoga Maya. So that shows how powerful Maya is. Maya can bewilder even Brahma. Maya can bewilder even Lord Shiva. So, in one hand, we can see how powerful Maya is, and it is by this, due to Maya's influence, they forget right, what they're doing or who they are and who Krishna is. And in this way, Krishna actually enacts his pastimes. In this respect also, another way to look at it is, you see, Krishna's pastimes are like drama. And drama means acting, not real. Right? Acting. So, now the qualification of a good actor is he forgets his identity and becomes the role that he's playing. Isn't it? A good actor, when he plays the role of a demon, he really becomes a demon. That is the acting is. One has to forget. The better the actor, the more he can forget himself and become that role. So in Krishna's pastime, that's what happens. These are all actors. And who is the directress? Yogamaya. She is the casting director. She is the acting director. She is directing everyone how to play the role. And she is actually making that arrangement by making them forget their identity and become the role that they are meant to play. Okay? Okay, Hare Krishna. Any other question?
Much in the same respect, Bali Maharaj is elevated to become Indra, but he was already on such a high level, the Atmani Vedan, and now he is becoming Karma Mishra Bhakta.
Not Karma Mishra Bhakta here. Like generally they are, but it's not that when one becomes a demigod, he becomes a Karma Mishra Bhakta. A pure devotee always remains a pure devotee. He is accepting the role because Krishna wanted him to. Okay, Bali, you wanted to become Indra. Become Indra. Oh, Krishna, you wanted me to. Fine, I will do that. Although I know that position now is totally insignificant to me, but since you want it, I will do it. Right?
Through Vakshamuni, we know he's not a pure devotee, so how come when he cursed the demon to be killed by Krishna in his next life, how is that possible?
Durvasha Muni is an advanced devotee, and it's not the pure, one has to be a pure devotee to give the benediction. The Brahmanas can do that. Those who are in such a situation, such an elevated position, that their words become factual. Their words, whatever they say, becomes real.
But he also saw Krishna later on. Is that also possible for...
Yeah, well, he knows who Krishna is. Is that your question? Yeah. Okay, thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande.